There's something sacred about the work you do when nobody is watching. In those moments, there are no likes, no comments, no followers to impress. Just you and the task at hand. It's quiet, it's raw, it's real, and that's where true growth happens. In today's world, people are conditioned to share everything, their dreams, their goals, their ideas before they've even taken a single step toward them. It becomes more about showing intention than demonstrating execution, but the truth is, the process that leads to transformation is almost always invisible. It's not shared in 10-second clips, it's not live, streamed for views, it's lived, and more often than not, it's lived in silence. When you work without an audience, you're forced to face yourself. You can't pretend, you can't perform. You can't dress it up to make it look better than it is. The grind strips away the filters and exposes your discipline or lack of it. It's in those moments, alone in your room, buried in your books, sweating in the gym, crafting your skill late at night, that you build something powerful. Something honest, something no applause could ever create. Private progress is stronger because it's internal. It's rooted in purpose, not performance. You're not moving to impress anyone. You're moving because your vision demands it. You're not chasing motivation, you're building momentum. You're not posting quotes about success, you're living the mindset. This kind of progress lasts, it sticks. It doesn't crumble under pressure because it wasn't built for approval, it was built for impact. When you keep your work to yourself, something shifts. You stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for direction. You realize that your journey isn't supposed to be a public spectacle. It's a personal mission, and that mission needs protection. The more people you invite into your process, the more opinions you invite into your mind, and too many opinions will kill your focus. That's why progress grows stronger in private, because it's guarded from unnecessary noise. There's also a psychological strength in silent progress. When you don't talk about what you're doing, you eliminate the satisfaction that often comes from announcing your goals. Studies have shown that people who talk about their ambitions too early often feel a false sense of accomplishment just from sharing them. That illusion can be dangerous. It tricks your brain into thinking you've already succeeded. But when you stay quiet, there's no illusion. There's just the work, just the mission, just the next step. And here's the beautiful part: when you work without an audience, you become your own source of accountability. You learn to trust your word, to follow through without being seen, to build self-respect through action, not attention. That kind of internal discipline is rare. It's not glamorous, but it's golden. It creates confidence that doesn't need compliments. It forges character that doesn't need confirmation. Think about the greatest breakthroughs in life: personal, physical, emotional, or financial. They don't happen on stage, they happen in solitude. They're born in early mornings before the world wakes up, in long nights where you push through fatigue, in weekends where you say no to distractions and yes to development. That's not content for the outside world, that's content for your legacy. You'll find that the less you share your every move, the more power you feel over your own journey. You no longer have to live up to what you said. You only have to live up to what you know you're capable of. That silence gives you room to evolve without explanation, to fail without judgment, to restart without ridicule. And when you do succeed, because you will, people will be amazed not just by what you achieved, but by the mystery of how you did it. That mystery is power, because real power is quiet. It doesn't brag, it doesn't broadcast, it builds. It sharpens, it waits, and then, one day, it explodes into the world fully formed. Discipline is not loud. It doesn't announce itself when you wake up early. It doesn't demand recognition when you show up consistently. It doesn't ask for applause when you choose the harder path over the easier one. Discipline is the quiet companion of greatness. It grows stronger not under spotlights, but in silence, when no one's watching, when no one's cheering, and when it would be easier to quit. In the beginning, goals are exciting, the vision is fresh, the motivation is high, but motivation is temporary. It fades, it fluctuates. What keeps you moving forward when the hype disappears is discipline. And that discipline thrives best in quiet spaces where no one sees the sacrifices, where no one notices the hours, where no one understands the weight of the pressure you carry every day. Silent moments are the building blocks of transformation. The decision to wake up before dawn and train while the rest of the world sleeps. The choice to study instead of scroll. The restraint to save instead of spend. The quiet decision to read when others waste time. These are not grand gestures. They're not posted or praised, but they are the very decisions that determine the future you will live. Every silent moment adds up, not all at once, but consistently over time, like drops of water carving through stone. There's a reason champions and masters in any field isolate themselves during training. It's not because they want to disappear, it's because they understand that discipline is fragile in the wrong environment. It must be protected. In the silence of solitude, they sharpen their focus, elevate their standards, and build the habits that make winning inevitable. Distraction is loud, drama is loud, but discipline is quiet. It prefers stillness. It requires space. It needs silence to grow. When you operate in silence, you eliminate the noise of comparison. You stop measuring your pace against someone else's progress. You stop needing external confirmation to feel like you're doing enough. You just work, you just build. You just commit again and again. And with each quiet day, you stay consistent. Your discipline deepens. It becomes part of who you are, not just something you try to have. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not pretty. It's often painful. It asks you to do things you don't feel like doing, to endure boredom and repetition, to walk the same path when no one notices your effort. But in those very conditions, when the process feels invisible and thankless discipline finds its strength, that's where it thrives, because discipline is about who you become when no one's clapping. It's about showing up when there's no reward in sight. It's about finishing what you started even when the excitement is gone. Every silent decision matters. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you plant a seed. That seed may not bloom tomorrow or next week, but it's growing. The compound effect of those small, silent choices is powerful. What feels like invisible progress today becomes undeniable success later. It sneaks up on everyone around you, but not on you, because you were there for every step, every rep. Every page, every practice, you were present in the silence, doing the work that no one understood. Discipline in silence also helps you build mental toughness. You learn how to keep promises to yourself. You stop needing external accountability because you become accountable to your own vision. You grow stronger, more stable, more self-reliant. You don't depend on reminders. You don't wait for motivation. You move because you said you would. That quiet agreement between you and your goals becomes sacred. It becomes unbreakable. And that is what separates those who talk about their dreams from those who actually live them. When you give yourself over to the discipline of silent effort, you discover your real limits, and then you push past them. No audience, no trophy, no cameras, just you versus yesterday's version of yourself. And when you beat that version, even by 1%, you win. That victory, though unseen, is more powerful than any public praise, because it proves that you're not just dreaming, you're doing. You're not just wishing, you're working, and that work is rewriting your identity one day at a time. There is a special kind of power in staying silent while you struggle and letting your success be the only thing that speaks when the moment arrives. In life, the loudest victories, the ones that leave people speechless, are never born out of constant announcements or flashy declarations. They are forged in silence, in the unseen moments when you choose to keep going despite pain, doubt, and exhaustion. These victories don't shout during the process, they roar at the finish line. The temptation to talk about our goals, to show every step we take, is strong. We live in a world that rewards visibility and instant updates. People want others to know what they're working on, hoping for encouragement or recognition. But real winners understand something deeper. The only thing worth showing is the result, because talk fades. Promises are forgotten, but outcomes are remembered. Outcomes are undeniable. When you let your results speak, they silence every doubt, every critic, every voice that ever said you couldn't do it. Private battles are the birthplace of strength. They're the nights you wrestle with fear and still choose to move forward. They're the moments when no one believes in you, not even yourself, but you keep going anyway. These internal wars are not televised. They don't trend, they don't come with cheering crowds, but they change you, they refine your character. They sharpen your focus, and slowly, through those private struggles, you begin to evolve into someone unstoppable. People often want the success, but not the solitude that creates it. They crave the applause without facing the adversity, but it doesn't work that way. Every great achievement you admire was born out of someone's season of silence, when they disappeared from distractions, embraced discomfort, and became obsessed with mastering their craft. They weren't busy talking, they were busy transforming, and that transformation happened in silence. When you stay quiet about what you're building, you remove the pressure of performing for others. You give yourself room to fail, to try again, to grow at your own pace without the fear of being watched or judged. You start doing the work for the right reasons, not to impress others, but to become the person you're meant to be. That shift in motive makes all the difference. You're no longer acting to be seen, you're acting to be great. Letting your results speak builds something stronger than hype. It builds credibility. People may not notice your efforts at first. They may overlook you, they may even doubt you, but when the results show up, when your skills speak through your success, suddenly everyone wants to know how you did it. Suddenly, the silence they misjudged, becomes the reason you won, and that's the best kind of statement you can ever make. A statement made without words, a message delivered through undeniable proof. There's also a deeper satisfaction in winning loudly after moving in silence. Because when you know how hard you worked, how many private battles you fought, how many days you wanted to quit but didn't, you don't need to explain anything. The result is not just a trophy, it's a testimony, it's evidence of the hours, the heartbreaks, the hustle. It represents the resilience people never saw and the sacrifice they'll never understand. And what's powerful is that once you've tasted that kind of victory, the kind that doesn't need to be explained, you no longer crave external validation. You start trusting the process more than the praise. You realize the most valuable thing you can ever do is to live in the grind and let the grind shape you. Because when you've been through enough in private, no public pressure can shake you. You've already been through worse. You've already earned your stripes. Letting your results speak doesn't mean you hide forever. It means you wait until what you've built can stand on its own. Until it's undeniable, until no one can question whether you're serious because the proof is right in front of them. And by then, you won't even need to say, "I told you so." The results will say it for you, loudly, clearly. And with a voice that no one can ignore. Your vision is sacred. It's the unique picture of the future that only you can fully see, fully feel, and fully understand. In its early stages, this vision is fragile like a seed just planted in soil. It's not ready to be exposed to every hand that wants to touch it or every eye that wants to judge it. That's why silence is not just a discipline, it's a defense. It protects your dream while it's growing roots. Not everyone deserves access to the process that's shaping your future. When you start sharing your goals too early or too often, you invite opinions, doubts, and unnecessary noise into your space. And the truth is, most people can't see what you see. They won't understand your hunger, your drive, your late nights and early mornings. They may not believe in your vision because it wasn't given to them, it was given to you. What feels obvious and necessary to you may seem unrealistic or ridiculous to someone else. And if you're not careful, their doubt can seep into your mind and distort your focus. Silence keeps your vision clean. It shields it from premature criticism and energy that isn't aligned with growth. When too many voices surround you, even with good intentions, they start pulling at your direction. You begin adjusting your steps to meet their expectations. You begin defending your decisions instead of executing them. Suddenly, you're spending more time explaining yourself than building. That's why the wisest thing you can do with a powerful vision is to guard it, keep it close, protect it like treasure, and share it only with those who have earned the right to see it. Every process has messy stages. There will be moments when things fall apart, when the plan isn't clear, when the results are slow, when you doubt yourself. If too many people are watching during these stages, you risk giving them power over your belief. You start fearing their opinions more than you trust your instincts, but when you move in silence, you give yourself permission to evolve without pressure. You give your goals the privacy they need to mature without interference. Silence also allows you to reconnect with your why on a regular basis. When you're not broadcasting your every move, you're forced to reflect inward. You ask yourself if you're still aligned with your purpose. You measure your progress against your own standard, not the expectations of an audience. That reflection strengthens your foundation. It makes your actions more intentional and your path more personal. In silence, your vision becomes more than a dream. It becomes a mission that you carry deep within, something you're building not for show, but for legacy. Some of the most transformative work you will ever do will go unseen. It will happen behind closed doors with no audience, no applause, and no one keeping track. That doesn't make it any less valuable. In fact, that makes it more real. Because if you can be consistent in silence, if you can stay focused without praise, if you can stay loyal to your vision when no one else believes in it, then you've already won the hardest battle. You've proven to yourself that your commitment is stronger than your need to be seen. Not everyone needs to know the details of your grind. Not everyone should have access to the behind the scenes of your development. The more you expose, the more you give people the opportunity to question you, to misunderstand you, or to project their fears onto your future. But when you stay quiet, you keep control, you hold the pen, you write your story without distraction. And you choose when, where, and how the world hears your message, if at all. There's also something deeply empowering about having something that's yours and yours alone. When you're working on a dream in silence, you don't owe anyone updates. You don't have to justify your pace. You don't have to explain your strategies. You are free to build without interference. You are free to fail, to pivot, to rise again, all without spectators waiting to weigh in. That freedom becomes fuel. It gives you the space to think bigger, act bolder, and move smarter. Your process is sacred. Your growth is sacred. Your vision deserves a quiet place to stretch, to struggle, and to rise. Not everyone has earned the right to witness that. Not everyone is meant to. Some people won't understand it until it's finished. Some people won't respect it until they see the results. And that's okay. That's why silence exists, not to hide you, but to protect the version of you that is still under construction. There's a certain rhythm to success that many overlook. It doesn't begin with the noise, it begins with the silence. The real explosion, the moment everyone hears your name, sees your work, and starts asking questions, comes only after the breakthrough. That's when the noise becomes unavoidable. That's when the world pays attention. But before that, it's all silence. And in that silence, you build, you grow, you prepare for a result that is so undeniable, the world is forced to react. Not because you told them, but because you showed them. Too often, people want the reaction before they've done the action. They post their plans, announce their goals, broadcast their moves, and expect the world to celebrate the idea of success rather than the reality of it. But applause doesn't build empires, likes don't create legacies, recognition doesn't build resilience. What does? Work, repetition, focus, and more than anything else, the patience to operate quietly, consistently, and relentlessly until the results are loud enough to speak for themselves. When you choose to move in silence, you disconnect from the need for validation. You stop craving instant gratification. You stop checking to see who noticed your efforts or who believes in your dream, because deep down you already believe. You don't need the noise yet, because you're still becoming the person who can handle it. You're still forming the habits, the mindset, the grit that it takes to truly win. And that kind of transformation requires stillness, it requires privacy, it requires silence. The noise that comes after the breakthrough is powerful, not because it was demanded, but because it was earned. It carries weight because it wasn't forced. People notice when something is different, when someone suddenly shows up with mastery, with excellence, with undeniable results. That kind of presence can't be faked. It can't be rushed. It comes only from time spent in the dark, working on your craft, sharpening your skills, and perfecting your execution. There's a quiet pride in watching people react to results they didn't see coming, in showing them what consistency in the shadows really looks like when it finally steps into the light. And it's not about proving others wrong. It's not about revenge or validation. It's about arriving prepared. It's about having done the work so thoroughly that when the moment arrives, you don't have to scramble. You just deliver, calmly, confidently, and completely, letting the world react to your results instead of your plans also protects your energy. You avoid the mental drain of defending dreams that others are too small-minded to understand. You stop wasting breath explaining strategies to people who haven't walked your path. You stop watering down your ambition to make others comfortable. Instead, you conserve your energy for what actually matters, doing the work that leads to real change, real growth, and real breakthroughs. The best reactions are the ones you didn't chase, the ones you didn't manipulate or seek out. They come naturally when what you've built can no longer be ignored. That's when the noise is pure. It's not hype, it's not manufactured. It's a genuine response to undeniable success. People will ask, "Where have you been?" They'll wonder how you got so good. They'll be shocked by the power of your performance. And in that moment, you'll know the truth, that while they were watching someone else talk, you were quietly preparing for your time. Every breakthrough has a build-up, a silent stretch of time where nothing seems to be happening, where progress feels invisible, where the world isn't watching. That's the space where most people quit, but the ones who endure it, the ones who embrace the silence, who keep moving despite the lack of attention, those are the ones who break through. And when they do, the noise follows them, not because they chased it, but because they earned it. When the noise finally comes, when the spotlight finally finds you, you'll be ready. Not because you rehearsed a performance, but because you lived the reality. You didn't announce your greatness, you became great. You didn't demand attention, you attracted it. The noise will be loud, but it won't overwhelm you, because you've already walked through the quiet fire that forged you. You've already earned your place, and now the results are speaking a language louder than words ever could. Conclusion: let this be your reminder. You don't need to broadcast your every step to prove you're moving. You don't need to shout to be strong. You don't need to be seen to be significant, because in a world obsessed with attention, true power lies in intention, the kind of intention that is sharpened in silence and revealed through results. Your dreams don't require permission. Your goals don't need public approval. They just need your quiet commitment. They need your discipline in the dark, your patience when no one claps, and your courage to keep building when it would be easier to quit. Every silent hour, every private struggle, every unseen sacrifice is not wasted. It's stored, it's invested, and one day it returns with interest, in the form of success that speaks louder than any announcement ever could. So let the world talk while you train. Let the noise pass you by while you prepare. Let the spotlight wait while you build your fire in the shadows. And when the time comes, when your moment arrives, you won't have to say a word. Your work will speak, your growth will shine, your wins will echo, and the same world that once overlooked you will have no choice but to watch, to listen, and to remember the sound of a silent journey that ended in a thunderous victory.